Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation.
Emma Gillespie, editor of the Daily Oz, is here. P. Diddy, M.
P. Diddy is in a lot of trouble. That's the understatement of the century. P. Diddy is in big trouble.
They're saying he's going to be like the Harvey Weinstein of the music world or the Jeffrey Epstein of the music world.
Yes, and I think he's going to be the Epstein of the music world because he's going to bring down some other celebrities with him. But first of all, let's go through what are the charges against him. He's being held in detention in New York without bail on charges of sex trafficking, racketeering. They basically are alleging that he had held all of these, what they're calling freak-offs, but these sex parties where he trafficked women and male sex workers into these situations that they didn't consent to being in, held these hour-long events where people were drugged, coerced, physically and sexually abused, that he filmed them, that there were lots of drugs involved, and that he used his business empire to cover up decades of abuse against women to, quote, fulfill his sexual desires and protect his reputation. It's really intense. These sex rings go way far back, and all of the forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, obstruction of justice, it's got everything.
And it's got a lot of, allegedly, celebrity involvement. Very famous people who were at the parties who saw and knew.
Yes. So this is the kind of phase 2 of this story, that now that we know all of these charges against Diddy, people are kind of looking back on those decades and thinking, well, who was there? Who was he close with? And some of his best friends are people like Jay-Z, Justin Bieber, Usher, Beyonce.
Well, wasn't he also curating their young careers of a young Justin Bieber, for example?
Yes.
And accusations, allegedly, that a young Bieber was groomed.
Yes. So we haven't heard anything from Justin Bieber at this point, but Diddy was instrumental in kind of the discovery of Bieber. So was Usher. And there are some videos that are emerging of their friendship, times that they hung out when Bieber was quite young and talking about...
And there's P. Diddy, Sean Combs saying, oh, we're going to spend the next 48 hours together. Isn't it going to be great? It's a 15-year-old boy.
Yeah, and a 15-year-old boy saying, let's go and get some girls with his much more senior mentor. So Bieber hasn't come and said anything, but there are these kind of leaked letters or this memoir that's also come out from Diddy's late former partner, Kim Porter. She died in 2018, but there's this memoir that emerged on Amazon the week before Diddy was arrested, and it's this like lost letters of Kim Porter. We don't know for sure that she wrote it, but it's a #1 book at the moment.
How did she die?
She died of pneumonia in 2018.
That's right.
She's got 3 kids with Diddy. But this book kind of alleges that she had this flash drive from Diddy's computers and that she has evidence of footage of him grooming and abusing younger boys. It sounds like a very dangerous, sticky situation. Obviously, lots of he said, she said. We don't really know all of the facts, but certainly the evidence that the prosecution, that the US Department of Justice says they have, is really, really damning. Wow. And people are now asking, from those other celebrities, people like Usher, what were they seeing? People at these glamorous parties must have seen something.
Well, Ashton Kutcher, there's a YouTube video that's come up. He did that, that Hot Ones show.
The chicken wing thing,
and they eat hot chicken wings and then ask questions. But he said they're talking about P. Diddy's parties, and he said, "Oh, I can't talk about that. Oh no, I can't talk about that." And he's sort of making a joke. But as people are saying online, that hasn't aged well.
Yeah, well, he threw these famous parties, the white parties where everyone dressed all in white. J-Lo, his ex, was at them. All these photos have come out, and you kind of looked at them a few years ago and thought, like, wow, these parties look so extravagant. But now it seems more sinister what was going on.
Giant beds and all this kind of weird stuff.
And someone must have, surely, you go to those parties, you see enough things. Someone knows something.
Didn't they find 1,000 bottles of lube?
Yeah. So they raided 2 of Diddy's homes in March and they found 1,000 bottles of lube in evidence. They confiscated a bunch of sex toys, computer hard drives, everything. So that's when we first kind of got wind of this 6 months ago. But it's not the first time that Diddy's been in legal trouble. He settled a lawsuit last year with an ex-partner who alleged physical and sexual abuse. She was the one in that CCTV footage being dragged around the hotel. So that was really distressing. Usher has deleted his entire Twitter account, his every single post on his Twitter. So his Twitter's still up, but over the weekend, his whole history got wiped, which I don't know. Why are you deleting your whole thing? Yeah, everyone's going to ground.
Wow. Well, they're saying also that he is on suicide watch, and people are wondering, will this be an Epstein situation?
Yeah, and I think it's going to be, well, I think hopefully it's not going to be an Epstein situation in that he dies, but I do think that there will be a lot to come in terms of who knew what.
Wow.
But he's facing some serious charges. One of the charges against him is a minimum 10-year sentence, but the maximum for 3 of the charges is 20 years on each charge. So I don't think we'll be seeing him a free man for a while to come at least.
Maybe he was starting his own Lube-mobile franchise.
That's how he could have made his
Lube-mobile
fortune.
will come to you.
Unfortunately, yes, it will.
A much more ethical way to make cash, Jonesy.
Thank you, Em.
Thank you.
Great to see you.